Welcome to Book Summary Podcast, your gateway to personal transformation. Each episode delivers big ideas from the world's most impactful books on mindset, productivity, and success, all in just a few minutes. Ready to turn knowledge into action? Let's get started.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Have you ever found yourself, kind of caught in that loop, that all too familiar one, where there's this really crucial task, maybe something that could make a huge difference for your career or, your well-being, maybe a big personal goal.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there.
Right there on the list.
Exactly. You know you need to do it, but you just, you can't seem to start. Instead, you're like caught in this swirl of emails or social media, or maybe even just reorganizing your computer files. Feeling restless, but definitely not productive.
Oh, absolutely. It's a feeling so many of us know really well, right? And it often comes down to, well, a basic misunderstanding of how our brains are actually wired, especially today with all the constant stimulation.
The invisible barrier, yeah.
That invisible mental barrier, exactly, between you and that important work. Well, we're going to dive deep into why that happens and maybe more importantly, how you can actually start to, take it down systematically.
Absolutely. So this deep dive, it's really all about pulling back the curtain on what's truly going on inside our heads when we feel that resistance. And how this surprising practice, people often call it a dopamine detox, how that can help you cut through all that noise and really reclaim your attention, unlock your potential. Think of it like maybe a strategic shortcut to a calmer, more focused you.
Yeah, and our mission today, it's pretty clear. We're going on a journey, really, into the science behind why we crave all this constant stimulation. We want to pinpoint the problem it creates, explore the benefits, which are often pretty profound, of intentionally reducing that stimulation.
Right.
And then, crucially, give you some practical, actionable steps, things you can actually do to get your focus and your drive back. And this isn't just about, being more productive for a week. It's about building deep, lasting fulfillment, something that really changes how you experience your day.
Imagine that, though. Waking up, actually feeling focused, feeling peaceful, ready to tackle the stuff that really moves the needle towards your biggest goals, instead of just procrastinating endlessly.
Right. Yeah.
Picture, effortlessly cutting out those unproductive habits, those distractions, feeling your ability to concentrate just skyrocket. That's the promise here. And it's actually maybe more attainable than you think.
It really is.
So to kick things off, let's jump into part one. Dopamine and the role it plays. We've all heard the word dopamine, right? Probably in kind of vague terms.
Yeah.
But what is it? Like, really, is it just the pleasure chemical? Or is there maybe something more to it, maybe even a little darker?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is just how often dopamine gets misunderstood. While lots of people believe it's mainly about pleasure, our sources, they really clarify it's quite different.
Okay.
Dopamine is this powerful neurotransmitter, right? But it actually makes us anticipate rewards. It's that intense desire, that craving, the force that makes us take action for something exciting, a potential reward.
So anticipation, not the reward itself.
Exactly. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. It was absolutely vital for survival, for reproduction. It's what pushed our ancestors to, go find food, seek out mates, build shelter. It's this really primal drive, a big reason we're all here today, frankly.
So it's less about the feeling of pleasure when you get the thing and more about the wanting it beforehand.
Yeah.
The seeking. That's a different way to think about it. Does that mean the chase itself is kind of the addictive part, even if the goal doesn't really satisfy?
Precisely. And that leads to this kind of paradox that our source material really highlights. As soon as you get that reward you were anticipating, often you feel this sense of emptiness, or at least it's fleeting, right? It's like your brain is immediately scanning for the next thing. The truth is, no amount of just constant external hits, constant stimulation, it's never going to bring that deep, lasting fulfillment we're all kind of looking for. Yet, here we are. A lot of us living in this state of constant overstimulation, just relentlessly looking for that next quick hit, that next dopamine treasure.
Always wanting more, never quite satisfied.
Exactly. We constantly want more, and we're never really satisfied. And the more we seek this external stuff, the worse the cycle gets. It leaves us feeling restless and increasingly unable to focus on the deeper, more meaningful things.
That bit about the emptiness after the hit, that resonates. You see it everywhere. So as you're listening to this, I really want you to think about it. What are you drawn to? Almost compulsively. What do you find yourself craving during the day?
Yeah, what are those main sources of stimulation for you?
And maybe the biggest question, do these things really make you happy? Do they bring you lasting peace? Because, research suggests a lot of us are kind of hooked on these highly stimulating things, binge watching videos, getting lost in social media, constantly checking email, but without getting any real lasting pleasure or fulfillment from
Well,
it.
you just keep doing them. You
Yeah.
need that next little jolt of dopamine, even if it leaves you feeling kind of drained afterwards.
Yeah.
And this leads us right to the core problem we're facing today.
Okay.
When you're under that kind of constant overstimulation, any task that needs real concentration, like, writing a complex report or prepping for a big presentation, working on a major personal project, it becomes incredibly difficult.
Because your brain's used to the quick hits.
Exactly. Your brain is so accustomed to those quick, intense dopamine hits from all the stimulation, it now sees something like focused work as just incredibly dull by comparison.
Yeah.
So what happens? You naturally procrastinate.
Makes sense.
You put off starting that new venture, or
Yeah.
you postpone that key project you're supposed to be leading. It's really a classic case of an ancient system dopamine driving action for survival getting totally hijacked by our modern world. And that leads to all sorts of unintended, often harmful consequences for our well-being and, our productivity.
Which brings us perfectly into part 2, the problem. We're talking dopamine hijack and how it impairs our long-term thinking. So for what we just talked about as the foundation, this part really digs into how that ancient system is being manipulated today and what that really means for our brains.
Precisely. Because at its core, dopamine really is the molecule of more, as some call it. The more our environment or our actions trigger its release, the more we crave that next shot.
Like a feedback loop.
It's a totally self-reinforcing loop. And this is exactly how many addictions work, whether it's substances or behaviors. By constantly triggering dopamine, you actually build up a tolerance. You need stronger and stronger stimuli to get that same initial feeling. It just keeps escalating.
And it's so important to broaden how we think about addiction here, right? It's not just drugs or alcohol.
Absolutely not.
Our sources really point out that lots of everyday things can become addictive in their own way. Gambling, shopping, even maybe excessive exercise, or becoming a workaholic. The question to ask yourself is, are there activities I truly can't stay away from for even one day?
That's a tough question.
It is uncomfortable. But if the answer is yes, our source suggests you might be, well, at least a little bit addicted or certainly caught in a compulsive pattern. It's worth thinking about, honestly.
And this leads us straight into how your dopamine system is being hijacked today, especially by technology, your focus. It's not just your personal resource, it's a scarce commodity. It's valuable. And marketers, they spend billions trying to capture it.
Wow, billions.
Billions. Companies like, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they design their apps very specifically to hook you because the more time you spend scrolling or watching, the more money they make from ads. Notifications are a perfect example of this kind of insidious design.
Those little red badges.
Exactly. How many times have you opened an app just because that red badge popped up promising something new? And then how much time did that click actually cost you in lost focus, lost productivity? Our research suggests it could easily be hundreds of hours a year just from that one habit.
It's staggering when you realize how sophisticated it is behind the scenes. Those algorithms, they're constantly learning, getting better at keeping us hooked.
Oh, they are incredibly powerful. Amazon's recommendation engine, for example, or YouTube suggestions, they're so personalized now. Facebook's research into user behavior, it's incredibly precise. They know exactly what keeps you clicking.
Yeah, you watch one video, then another on a similar topic pops up.
And suddenly it's an hour later. It creates this never-ending loop, pulling you deeper and deeper.
It feels like instead of us using the internet as a tool, sometimes the internet starts using us.
That's a great way to put it. It starts using you as a resource by hijacking your focus, making you unproductive, and ultimately leaving you with that feeling of restlessness, of dissatisfaction.
And again, it's not about real lasting pleasure, is it? Those social media notifications, they're a prime example. You see one, your brain anticipates the potential reward, a like, a comment, some news, and boom, dopamine release.
Right. But like we said, it's the anticipation, not the pleasure itself. And that feeling is almost always temporary. So you just end up chasing the next fleeting hit. And other things hijack us in similar subtle ways, too. Checking email, you're often expecting a reward, right? A message, Some exciting news, maybe. Same with checking stats investments, website traffic. You anticipate good numbers. The unpredictability makes it exciting.
Or just scrolling social media, hoping for likes, comments, interesting posts.
Exactly. Every time you engage in any of these, you risk getting overstimulated, getting distracted, and the result, you erode your ability to focus on what actually matters. Anyone who's managed to stay off the internet or social media for even a few days, they know just how much time and mental energy these things really consume.
So it's not just the digital world then. The food industry is also in on this game, using our own biology against us.
Oh, absolutely. Our source explains this really well. Think back to our ancestors. Finding food was a huge driver. Hunger, plus that powerful anticipation of a reward, tasty, nourishing food that motivated action.
And the best tasting food back then was often energy-rich. Sugars, fats.
Precisely. Stuff that gave the most pleasure was usually highly nourishing. According to Professor Suzanne Klaus, a biologist, our craving for sweet stuff is innate. Sugar triggers dopamine, makes us feel good, and she found that the combo of sugar and fat, especially good at stimulating the brain's reward system.
So it's wired in.
Deeply wired. It makes sense we like our daily dose of sugar and fat. But here's the kicker. Today's world is vastly different. Food is everywhere, often ultra-processed, engineered for maximum bliss. But our biology, that ancient craving, it's still the same. We still get that powerful anticipation looking at rich, sugary food. And the food industry, they know this very well.
And they use it brilliantly from a marketing perspective, spending millions, maybe billions, to get us to buy their products. They figured out adding sugar makes things tastier, yes, but also scientifically engineers it to make us crave more.
That's why you see sugar in so many forms on ingredient lists, even in savory foods sometimes.
Now, what about the whole sugar is as addictive as cocaine thing? You hear that sometimes. Is that accurate?
That's a really important point to clarify. Some articles might sensationalize it, but our sources, citing experts like Professor Robert Lustig and others, paint a more nuanced picture. Sugar can be addictive. Yes, it definitely triggers our reward system, but it's probably more akin to, say, nicotine than hard drugs like heroin.
Okay, so it doesn't hijack the brain's controls in quite the same extreme way.
Exactly. Dr. Tom Sanders, another expert, even calls the comparison to hard drugs absurd. People don't typically go through severe withdrawal cutting out sugar, so while it might not be addictive like cocaine, the core message is still powerful. Reducing our dependence, especially on added sugars, is a really strategic step towards regaining control over cravings and our overall well-being.
It's about lowering that constant low-level stimulation that keeps us searching.
Precisely.
And all this constant stimulation, it has another really deep, maybe insidious impact. It messes with our ability to think long-term.
Yeah, this raises a critical question.
Yeah.
What's the ultimate price we pay for living in this hyper-stimulating world? Study after study shows that one of the best predictors of success in life, finances, relationships, personal goals, it's the ability to think long-term.
People who focus on where they want to be years from now, they make better choices today.
Consistently. They tell to eat healthier, be more productive, save and invest more, build stronger relationships. Dr. Edward Banfield at Harvard, after extensive research, concluded this long-time perspective. The ability to think years ahead when making present decisions was the most important factor for success.
But that's getting harder these days, isn't it? Focusing on the long term.
It really is. So many forces push us towards short-term thinking, towards that immediate gratification. We often know what we should do for our future selves, but we just don't do it now.
Right, like knowing you should eat the salad, but the immediate pleasure of the cake wins out. Or knowing you need to study, but binge-watching Netflix feels better right now.
Exactly. Or knowing exercise is good, but scrolling social media is easier. Our sources strongly suggest that the constant buzz from social media and the internet has really damaged our ability both to think long-term and to focus deeply. It's probably no coincidence that Steve Jobs reportedly banned his own kids from using iPads and iPhones when they were young.
Wow. Despite selling millions of them. That says something.
It's a powerful statement, and Chamath Palihapitiya, the investor, former Facebook exec, he argues forcefully that we have to rewire our brains for the long term. He suggests starting by just deleting social media apps off your phone. Why? Because they wire your brain for super fast feedback.
Likes, comments, instant replies.
That constant, immediate feedback conditions us to expect fast results in everything. And this gets reinforced by all the get-rich-quick stories or only hearing about the superstar YouTubers, not the millions who quietly fail. As we demand more instant stimulation, our focus shifts more and more to the short term. Our whole view of reality can get distorted.
And that leads to adopting these really inaccurate beliefs, right? These mental models that just aren't true.
Totally. We start thinking things like success should be quick and easy, or I shouldn't have to work hard, there must be some secret hack.
Yeah.
This warped perception messes with our sense of time, our sense of reality. We might feel jealous of apparent overnight successes, or even resentful. Worse, we can feel inadequate, like we're not smart enough, not disciplined enough.
Which can push you into that frantic hustle, always looking for the non-existent secret instead of just putting in the work.
Exactly. You get caught in this exhausting race, and you completely forget the value of patience. Our source is clear. Watching motivational videos all day won't get you there. Daily, consistent action, sustained over time. That will. Staying calm, focusing on the task at hand, day after day. That's the path.
So the message is, to achieve big goals, you absolutely have to reclaim your attention and rewire for the long haul, starting by stepping back from the hyperstimulation.
Absolutely. Look at Amazon. Founded in '94, right? Didn't turn a profit until 2003. Nearly a decade. Bezos could have chased quick profits, but he deliberately reinvested, built foundations, played the long game.
Patience and consistency.
That's the secret, if there is one. Patience and consistency. Built one brick at a time. It won't happen overnight. You have to cultivate patience, cultivate discipline. And to do that, you need to cut the distractions, reduce the stimulation that keeps you restless, and focused only on the now. Only then do you stand a real chance of ending up where you truly want to be years down the line.
So the bottom line here seems to be, society, in many ways, is kind of designed to hijack your dopamine system. And often that design isn't really for your benefit. It's maybe more about emptying your wallet. But maybe even more importantly, it seriously erodes your ability to focus. It leaves you feeling restless, scattered, often kind of bad about yourself. You're overstimulated, unable to tackle the difficult, important stuff that would actually make the biggest positive difference in your life.
And that state, that chronic overstimulation, that's the biggest, often overlooked reason we procrastinate so much. When you're calm, when you're centered, focused, tackling your main work can actually feel pretty good, maybe even exciting.
But we're rarely in that state, are we?
Often not. Instead, we're rushing, jumping between low-impact tasks, feeling like we're running in circles, like a hamster in a wheel, but never actually finishing the important stuff. We let interruptions kill our focus. We waste hours checking email, scrolling social media, watching just one more video, while the critical tasks just sit there.
And it often starts first thing, doesn't it? Grab the phone.
Yep. Then check email. Then maybe just a quick look at social media by then. Emails, notifications, likes, they've already flooded your system with dopamine. You're overstimulated. Your brain expects constant novelty now.
Okay, now I can work, you tell yourself.
Right. But then you sit down to tackle that important project, and suddenly, does it feel easy? Or do you feel like doing anything else?
Suddenly need coffee or remember an urgent email.
Exactly. The real work can wait, you think? And boom, you're back in the hamster wheel, seeking more stimulation. This can go on for hours, days, even weeks sometimes.
So the core issue with overstimulation is that your brain just keeps demanding more stimulation.
Pretty much. As your stimulation level goes up, those regular, less stimulating tasks, the ones that actually matter, they start to look incredibly dull, unappealing. You think, why work on my book, or write that report, or plan that strategy, when I could do something way more exciting right now?
There's a gap.
A huge gap between your current high stimulation level and the lower level needed for deep work. It leads straight to procrastination. It's like you're operating on a completely different wavelength, one that has almost no overlap with the wavelength needed for your major tasks. The author of our source, being a writer, notes this clearly. Writing is the main task. But as soon as they check social media or YouTube or sales figures, they get sucked in.
And writing becomes impossible.
It becomes one of the most unappealing, challenging things imaginable because the stimulation levels are just too far apart.
And once you're in that overstimulated state, your mind starts playing tricks on you, right?
Yeah.
To keep you there.
Oh, yeah, incredibly sneaky tricks, all designed to convince you there's no need to stop, no need to leave that kind of trance state. Instead, it encourages you to embrace it, seek more stimulation. After all, life's for enjoying, right? Our source points out 4 key stimulation traps.
Okay, what's trap #1?
Trap #1, and this one is really insidious. Your mind tells you returning to work is easy.
That right?
It tries to convince you you're totally in control. You can just flip a switch and start focused work whenever you want. But as the material warns, that's almost never true. Once you've gone down that stimulation rabbit hole, you probably won't get back to real deep work for hours, maybe not even until the next day. Once you're overstimulated, shifting back is genuinely hard, almost physically uncomfortable sometimes.
Okay, so that's trap #1. What's #2?
Trick #2. You can do it later.
The class.
The classic procrastinator's anthem. Your mind whispers, there's plenty of time this afternoon, or you can always do it tomorrow or next week or next month. But if you don't actively push back, putting things off becomes this deeply ingrained habit, a default setting. 5 years from now, the source warns, you might look back and be really angry with yourself for achieving so little of what truly mattered to you. It's that deferred regret.
Oof. Okay, trap #3.
Trap #3 is really insightful, a real aha moment for me. Excitement is not the same as fulfillment.
Say more about that.
When you're lost in those highly stimulating activities, that rapid scrolling, the binge watch, the constant news feed your mind sells you on how much fun you're having, just relax, enjoy yourself. But once the buzz phase, once your stimulation level drops back to normal, ask yourself honestly, how much did I actually benefit from all that?
Did watching those videos or scrolling Facebook for an hour really enhance my life?
Yeah.
Bring lasting peace?
Exactly. Was that time spent meaningfully? The source is crystal clear. Excitement can be fun, sure, a momentary distraction. But true, lasting fulfillment, that comes from an inner sense of peace, from focused engagement, from deep work or connection, and that develops slowly over the long run. It's a stark difference many of us just miss in the moment.
That's huge. Okay, and the final trap, #4.
Trap #4. You're missing out.
Fear of missing out, yeah.
Checking email or news every 30 minutes gives you this illusion of control, right? Driven by that fear you'll miss an urgent message or the latest breaking news. But let's be real. Do you always need to reply instantly? Do you really need constant news updates?
Probably not.
This fear comes from a scarcity mindset. The mistaken idea that opportunities are limited or one missed piece of info will ruin everything. But opportunities, they're everywhere. There will always be more. Missing one news item, one event, it's usually completely okay. The source strongly suggests just being aware of these 4 traps as they happen during your day. That's the absolute first step towards lowering your stimulation and getting back on track with your goals.
Just noticing them is powerful.
Immensely.
So, given all these challenges, all these traps, what's the actual solution? This takes us to part 3, the benefits of a detox. Our sources point strongly towards this idea of the dopamine detox.
Right.
Now, that phrase, dopamine detox, it definitely grabs your attention. But what does it really mean for our brain chemistry? Is it like literally getting rid of dopamine or something else?
That's an excellent question, and it's really important to clarify the term. Scientifically, dopamine detox is maybe a bit of a misnomer. It kind of implies you're removing too much dopamine.
Yep.
In reality, when you're chronically overstimulated, your brain just needs more external stimulation to feel that same dopamine release. It's like you've built up the tolerance.
Ah, okay.
So a dopamine detox, as our material defines it, it's really about the intentional reduction of external stimulation. The goal is to stop that chronic overstimulation and help your brain get back to a more natural baseline state.
So you need less stimulation to feel okay.
Exactly. And when you need less external stimulation, those challenging tasks, even the boring ones, suddenly they seem much more appealing, much easier to tackle. It's about recalibrating your sensitivity.
That makes a lot more sense. Resetting your baseline so ordinary stuff feels more rewarding again. Okay, so how do you do it? What are the different ways to approach this kind of reset?
Well, our sources lay out 3 main types of dopamine detoxes, varying in intensity. The first one, it's the most demanding, the 48-hour complete dopamine detox.
48 hours, okay.
Yeah, this one's designed for maximum impact. The idea is simple. For 2 full days, you eliminate most, if not all, sources of external stimulation. We're talking no drugs or alcohol, no intense exercise, no internet, no movies, probably no music unless it's very quiet, non-stimulating background stuff. No phone, no social media, no sugar or processed foods, no video games.
Wow, that is a lot to cut out, especially if you're used to constant input. That sounds really challenging.
It definitely can be, but then the question is, what do you do for 48 hours? How do you fill that space?
Yeah, exactly. What's allowed?
Good question. And the sources give some great ideas, things like going for a long contemplative walk, really noticing your surroundings, journaling your thoughts, meditating or just relaxing in silence, doing awareness exercises, just observing what's going on inside and outside, reading, but maybe sticking to less stimulating stuff, not like a thriller, gentle stretching.
So quiet, introspective, present moment things.
Precisely. And just to give some perspective on how extreme this could be, the material mentions a friend, Nils, who did a Vipassana retreat.
Oh yeah, those are intense, right?
10 days, complete silence. No physical contact, no exercise, no drugs, no phones, no internet, no music, no reading, no writing, just meditation and observation. When you compare it to that, suddenly a 48-hour detox maybe sounds a bit more manageable.
Yeah, absolutely. Perspective is key. Okay, so that's the full-on deep dive version. What about gentler options?
Right. The second type is the 24-hour dopamine detox. Similar idea, just shorter. Obviously easier to do, a good starting point maybe, but it's naturally going to be a bit less effective for a full reset because it really can take a few days for your stimulation levels to properly settle back down.
Okay, 24 hours. Still a challenge, but less daunting. And the third type?
The third is the partial dopamine detox. This one's less demanding, but can be incredibly effective if you stick with it long term. It becomes a powerful, ongoing strategy. It just involves removing your single biggest source of stimulation. Or maybe your top 2 or 3.
Just the main culprit.
Exactly. For the author of our source, that was YouTube. Usually there's one specific activity that's your biggest focus drain. So as you're listening, maybe pause and think. Which of these detox types resonates most right now? And crucially, what is your single biggest source of stimulation? Identifying that's the essential first practical step.
That leads us perfectly into part 4, implementing the detox. Let's get practical with this 3-step method. So you've identified your biggest issue, or maybe you're going for a full detox.
Yeah.
How do you actually make this stick? How do you integrate it without feeling like you're constantly fighting yourself?
Okay, so the first step is simple but really powerful. Step #1. Identify your biggest distractions. And for this, grab a tool we often forget, pen and
That's
paper.
old school.
Totally. Create 2 columns, cans and can'ts. In cans, list the things you allow yourself during your detox. Things that promote calm focus walking, journaling, working on a specific project, reading something non-stimulating. In cans, list everything you must avoid: YouTube, checking email constantly, scrolling social media, whatever your big ones are.
Be specific.
Very specific. Ask yourself, if I stop just one thing, which would boost my focus the most, and what else do I really need to avoid? Keep digging until you're clear. Then take that list and put it somewhere you'll see it all the time. On your desk, taped to your monitor, a constant physical reminder.
Makes sense. Makes it explicit, hard to ignore. Okay, what's the next step? This is where it gets clever, right? Creating lasting change.
Exactly. Step #2. Add friction. This taps into a basic truth about us humans. The harder something is to do, the less likely we are to do it, and the easier it is, the more likely.
Right.
So you need to intentionally redesign your environment. Make the bad habits harder to access. Make the good habits easier. We are fundamentally kind of lazy. It's just how we're wired. So use that laziness strategically. Look at your can'ts list and ask, how can I make doing these things more difficult? The more friction, the better.
Okay, give us some concrete examples. How does that work in practice for everyday stuff?
Sure. Phone's your biggest problem. Don't just silence it. Turn off all notifications. Better yet, airplane mode. Even better. Switch it off completely and put it in another room. Out of sight, out of mind.
That's real friction.
Definitely. Facebook's the issue. Remove notifications. Use tools like the Newsfeed Eradicator extension for Chrome. It literally removes the feed. YouTube sucks you in. Install DFTube. It removes all the suggestions and recommendations. You only watch what you intentionally search for.
No more rabbit holes.
Exactly. Or, like the author did, put your internet modem in the storage room. They had to leave the apartment, take the elevator down 4 floors, unlock 4 doors just to get the modem.
Wow. That is extreme friction.
It is. But it illustrates the point perfectly. Their mind just resisted doing all that work because it felt like a great waste of energy. It sounds crazy, but it worked.
It really makes you think about the little barriers we could create. And presumably you do the opposite for the good habits. Remove friction.
Absolutely. Make your desired behaviors as easy as possible. If you want to eat healthier, don't just buy healthy food. Have it prepped and visible in the fridge. Make unhealthy snacks harder to get, to maybe don't buy them or store them way up high.
Like laying out your gym clothes the night before.
Perfect example. The author, for writing, avoids checking their phone or email first thing and leaves their word processor open from the night before. Maybe puts on relaxing music, sets a timer for 45 minutes. All these things remove friction, create a mental buy-in. It makes it easier to start, harder to stop. Procrastination's still possible, sure, but you significantly reduce the chances. So think now, how could you add friction to your can'ts and remove it for your cans? Use that built-in desire for ease to your advantage.
Okay, great practical tips. And the third and final step in this method, the one that sets the tone.
That's step #3. Start first thing in the morning. Simply put, get started on your focused work or your detox activities before you get overstimulated. The author found if they checked their phone or went online right after waking up, they were almost guaranteed to get distracted, fall back into old patterns.
That first hour is crucial.
It really is. A simple, intentional morning routine done consistently. It can make a massive difference. It helps you start the day feeling positive, focused, calm.
So what's the very first thing you do when you wake up? Does it lead you towards focus?
Yeah?
Or does it immediately pull you into stimulation, restlessness, and then, procrastination?
Right. The sources really encourage creating a routine that deepens focus, doesn't stimulate you. Think about things like meditating for 5 minutes, doing some gentle stretches, listening to calm instrumental music, writing down your top 3 goals for the day, listing 3 things you're grateful for, repeating positive affirmations.
Doesn't have to be complicated.
Not at all. Even a simple 2 or 3 step routine, if you do it consistently, can be incredibly powerful in shifting your entire day's trajectory.
Okay, so let's recap that 3-step method quickly. First, identify your biggest distractions, write them down, keep the list visible.
Second, add friction to the bad habits, make them harder, and remove friction from the good habits, make them easier.
And third, start first thing in the morning with a simple, focus-deepening routine before the stimulation hits. Decide which detox type fits 48-hour, 24-hour, partial, and apply these steps.
Exactly.
All right, so you've done the detox, maybe just started implementing these steps, and you're feeling calmer, more in control. Awesome. But now, how do you keep it going? How do you make sure this isn't just a temporary fix? That takes us to part 5, doing the work and overcoming procrastination. Because the detox isn't just about stopping bad stuff. It's about enabling and sustaining the good stuff.
Precisely. A huge goal of the detox is to re-motivate you for those hard, important tasks, the ones that really move the needle. Now, it's all about maintaining that momentum and being intentional with your time and energy. That's absolutely key. Just taking a few minutes each day to decide what you want to accomplish, it drastically cuts down the risk of just drifting, of aimless wandering.
So planning your day becomes fundamental here. The benefits sound huge. Clarifies what's important versus just urgent, reduces mind wandering, makes transitions smoother, leaves you feeling less stressed, more in control, moving towards goals instead of just reacting.
And you don't need complicated tools. The sources suggest something powerful but often overlooked: pen and paper. Just write down 3 to 5 key tasks you must get done today. Order them by importance. Commit to working through them.
And how do you identify those key tasks again, those move-the-needle questions?
Right. Ask yourself, if I could only complete one task today, which one would have the biggest impact? Or, if I had to finish one thing before taking a month off, what would it have to be? Often, the most important tasks are the ones you least feel like doing, right?
Yeah, the challenging ones, the boring ones.
Exactly. But the detox helps make them feel less daunting. And this planning method, you can apply it to weekly goals, quarterly, yearly, even your long-term vision. You just work backward. Want to write a book in 90 days? Okay, outline it first, then figure out your daily word count. Reverse engineer it.
That leads to maybe the single most important productivity principle, scheduling one major task each morning.
You are spot on. Thousands of productivity books out there, endless methods. But the core idea is remarkably simple. Identify your most important task. Commit to tackling it first thing in the morning, consistently, day after day.
Even with a huge to-do list, there are usually just a few things that really matter.
Absolutely. Those are the tasks that skyrocket your progress. If you don't do those, little else matters in the long run. The key to real, sustained productivity. Our sources boil it down beautifully to 3 words: focus, consistency, impact.
Okay, let's break those down. Focus is
Your ability to maintain deep concentration, avoid distraction while you're working,
consistency.
developing the habit of working on those key tasks every single day, week after week, month after month, just showing up relentlessly.
And impact.
That's about intelligently identifying those crucial needle-moving tasks, the ones with the biggest effect on your long-term success and well-being, and then working on them as much as possible.
So productivity is basically consistent focus on your most impactful tasks.
Beautifully put.
Okay, so how do we develop that laser-sharp focus in a world designed to scatter it?
Right. The sources give 5 really practical steps anyone can use. First, be at the same place at the same time every day.
Ritual. Consistency.
Exactly. It conditions your mind. Like Stephen King sits at his desk, same time every day, just starts writing. Doesn't wait for inspiration, you just show up. The inspiration, that flow state, often comes once you're immersed.
Okay, same place, same time. Step 2.
Choose a trigger, something simple, calming. Maybe making a specific tea right before you sit down, or finishing your morning meditation. It's a clear psychological signal. Focused work starts now. Helps calm the mind, makes it easier to begin.
Got it. A starting gun, almost. Step
Well,
3.
Maybe the most vital, just get started. Don't overthink. Don't wait for perfection. Even committing to just a few minutes builds momentum. You might even hit that flow state Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi talked about. Totally immerse, lose track of time, effortless enjoyment.
Action creates motivation.
It really does. The more relaxed you are when you start, the easier focus comes. So just begin. Don't worry about the quality of the first few minutes.
Okay. Step 4. Sounds crucial.
Eliminate distractions. Non-negotiable. Phone notifications off. Social media closed. Internet off unless absolutely needed for planned research. Ask people not to disturb you if you can. The more you practice working distraction-free, the stronger that focus muscle gets.
Build the muscle. And step 5.
Work without interruptions. Once distractions are gone, commit to continuous work. The sources recommend maybe 45-minute blocks of intense focus as a good duration, then a short 5-10-minute break if you're doing multiple sessions. It maintains intensity without burnout. Follow these 5 steps, you'll dramatically strengthen focus and boost productivity.
That's a great framework. Now, you mentioned this idea of open systems being a problem.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Understanding the nature of our distractions, most of the really distracting stuff, it falls into this category of open systems, meaning it's an application, a platform, a situation that provides a continuous, never-ending supply of external stimuli. Think email inbox, Facebook feed, YouTube, TikTok, news sites, the internet itself. They're designed to just keep going, keep feeding you more.
And the danger is...
The danger is clear once you see it. Enter an open system. You immediately risk getting overstimulated, losing your grip. Check Facebook first thing. You might scroll aimlessly, watch suggested videos, get into random conversations.
And then when you finally close it, you're too fragmented to work.
Exactly. You struggle to start real work.
Yeah.
Because with open systems, there's no natural endpoint, no finished, just infinite ways to get distracted, waste hours without even realizing it. Open systems are basically engineered distraction machines.
So what's the antidote?
The antidote, the key to regaining control, is to deliberately design and work within closed systems.
Closed systems like...
Environments or applications with little or no room for distraction. They force you to focus on the task at hand. Think. A focused Word document. A structured Excel spreadsheet. Building a PowerPoint presentation. Even just a physical notepad for brainstorming. They have boundaries, a clear start, a clear end, a defined scope. The author's advice. Simple but profound. Start your day with a closed system. For them, it's opening their writing file before doing anything else on the computer. Actively avoiding the phone first.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Starting in that contained space avoids the initial overstimulation.
Precisely. It makes engaging with challenging tasks much, much easier. And as you do this consistently, day after day, you not only feel better, you actually start wanting to work on more tasks. So maybe one of the biggest secrets to beating procrastination and being truly productive, deliberately start your day in a closed system.
That tiny decision first thing, it really can change the whole day.
Absolutely. What you do first thing matters far more than most people think.
Okay, so you've done the detox, you're implementing these habits, using closed systems, feeling calmer, more in control. Fantastic. But what next? Well, habits, they die hard. It's so easy to slip back. Which brings us to part 6, avoiding dopamine relapse and making these changes stick for good.
Yeah, and self-awareness here is absolutely crucial. Our sources are really clear on this. You will relapse, or at least you'll have moments where you slip back into old patterns. It's completely normal. It's part of changing behavior.
So don't beat yourself up about it.
Please don't. The author admits they cycle between hyperfocus and restlessness sometimes. The key is to accept it. It's natural. Avoid guilt, avoid shame that just makes it worse, creates negative associations. Just notice it happened, accept it, and restart your routine tomorrow, one day at a time.
But it does feel like a battle sometimes, doesn't it? trying to stay focused in this world, like swimming against a current.
It absolutely does, because in many ways, the world is literally working against you. Everyone wants your attention, not just family and friends. Marketers, YouTubers, bloggers, news outlets, app developers.
Our attention is valuable.
Extremely valuable. The ability to grab and hold attention is how countless companies make their money. Your focus is worth a lot to them, which is exactly why platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram are designed to do everything possible to keep you glued, keep you scrolling.
But here's the empowering part, right? Our focus is also worth a lot to us.
That's the crucial flip side. When you consciously reclaim your focus, use it strategically for your goals. You can radically transform your life. Financially, by doing great work, building skills, creating value, relationally, personally, by redirecting it to meaningful activities, being truly present with loved ones, deep hobbies, self-development.
So the choice is ours. Protect it with habits and systems, or just let it get pulled away.
Exactly. Remain unprepared or build your defenses.
How do we build those defenses effectively?
Yeah.
How do we avoid relapse?
One really effective way is to proactively prepare a contingency plan. Think about the common ways you tend to lose focus, the situations where you usually slip back into old habits.
Like checking the phone first thing leads to an hour of scrolling.
Right. Visualize that exact scenario happening. Then prepare mentally. How would you prefer to react in that moment? See yourself making the better choice, putting the phone down, opening your closed system work file instead. Pre-decide your response.
So you anticipate the trigger and rehearse the better reaction. Takes willpower out of the equation in the moment.
Exactly. And beyond that planning, it's vital to put a simple, sustainable system in place.
Not just extreme measures, but daily habits.
Yes. The key to consistently lower stimulation and sustained focus is a simple, sustainable system of habits that becomes almost automatic. It doesn't necessarily mean a permanent, total shutdown from all distractions, but it does mean having daily routines and environmental designs that consistently support your focus. Consistency in that daily routine, paramount. It's the small daily wins that build lasting change.
And to really bolster our minds against overstimulation, you mentioned cultivating those here and now neurotransmitters.
Yes. This is a fascinating and often overlooked piece of the puzzle for long-term well-being. These are chemicals like endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin. They're kind of the counterbalance to dopamine's seeking drive. They make you feel calmer, more content, more present.
How do we activate those?
By intentionally doing activities that ground you right here, right now, shifting your brain chemistry towards peace, away from that constant craving.
Okay, give us some examples. What can we do today to start getting more of those calming chemicals?
All right, first, meditation. Even just a few minutes a day helps you practice being present, focusing on your breath, or maybe engaging one sense fully, then gently switching to another.
Simple but powerful. What else?
Second, stretching. When you stretch, you relax your body, slow your breathing, helps you feel calmer, more present in your physical self almost immediately. Third, mindfulness. Just being fully aware of what's happening inside and around you without judging it.
Like eating slowly, noticing the food.
Exactly. Eating slowly, noticing flavors, textures, or doing chores, mindfully focusing on the movement, the sounds, the sensations, or just scanning your body, noticing sensations head to toe.
Okay, fourth.
Contemplative walking. How present are you really when you walk? Do you hear the birds, feel the wind, notice cloud shapes, leaf patterns, or are you just stuck in your head, planning, worrying?
Guilty as charged sometime.
We all are. The encouragement here is observe things as if for the very first time. Really see, really hear, really smell. Are you stuck in your head or truly present in the world?
Powerful question. Okay, fifth.
Deep social interactions. Genuine connection with other humans activates oxytocin, the love hormone, the bonding hormone. The more present you are truly listening, connecting, the more empathy, bonding, belonging you feel. Put the phone away. Be with the people you care about.
Quality time, truly present. And finally, this one might surprise people.
Finally, boredom. Just practicing doing nothing, simply being. It's
Yeah.
remarkably effective at lowering your baseline stimulation. Our minds always want to do something, be entertained. Just for a moment, allow yourself to be okay with doing nothing. Sit quietly. Eat without distraction. Walk with no goal.
Embrace the stillness.
Exactly. Incorporate some of these daily. You'll feel calmer, more centered, more present. Dramatically reduces the risk of chronic overstimulation. So maybe reflect. Which of these could you bring into your daily life to cultivate more calm, more focus?
And to really lock these new habits in, make them stick.
Yeah.
Our sources suggest a 30-day challenge.
Yeah, committing to a simple daily routine based on all this for 30 straight days. It really helps prevent sliding back into old habits right after your initial detox efforts. It helps make the change feel permanent.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you, the listener? It really means you have this fundamental choice, right? You can choose to consciously control your focus, or you can just passively let someone else or some algorithm take it from you. By learning to actively avoid those highly stimulating activities that undermine your calm and focus, you'll find yourself able to tackle those major tasks with so much more ease and clarity.
Going through a detox, or even just consistently applying these daily steps, it helps lower that baseline stimulation, ensures you're working on what truly matters.
And remember that crucial distinction. Excitement is not the same thing as fulfillment.
Absolutely critical. As you learn to strategically cut the external noise and truly immerse yourself in your work, your hobbies, your relationships, you'll experience a much richer, deeper, more lasting sense of fulfillment. You'll feel better, calmer, yes, but you'll also become far more productive, steadily achieving more of your most important goals and dreams.
Stop letting your environment hijack your brain. Regain control. This isn't just some productivity hack. It really is the key to a healthier, more fulfilled life, one that's focused on what truly matters to you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Book Summary Podcast. If you found value in today's episode, hit that like button, subscribe for more summaries, and share it with someone who's ready to grow. Want deeper insights, exclusive book notes, and reading tips? Join our free newsletter. The link's in the description. And don't forget, if you'd like to read the full book, our affiliate link is right below. It helps support the channel and keeps the summaries coming. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing.